Migration is the movement of people from one place to another. It involves the change of residence by an individual or group, either for permanent or temporary settlement at a new location. The need for changing location can be in search of better economic opportunities, better climate conditions, better security, to join family members, or to study.
Push factors here: insecurity, a low quality of life, limited job opportunities in Nigeria. So those are the factors that are pushing a lot of our people out of the country. So it's nothing strange. Humans will always want to move towards a location where they feel they will get a better bang for their money.
In the quest for greener pastures, Nigerians have been leaving the country in droves in recent years. While most stay within sub-Saharan Africa, reports show that the number of Nigerians traveling to Europe and the Americas has increased tremendously.
I've had over 20 something friends who've left the country. Canada, Australia, different country. The one in Canada actually was growing up pastor. He needed a job. He graduated 2011 and he has been roaming streets just to get his just pina job here. He said, but if he goes out there, so he did something similar there. You know, like in Canada, I think they work with they work in 3 different places and also have time for himself. So that's why he left for job.
In recent years, you find a situation where a lot of our IT people, people in the medical field, doctors and nurses, are moving out of Nigeria. And the places where the locations of the desirous locations, usually Canada and the United Kingdom, you know. So it's a trend that is ongoing. I don't see it ending soon, as long as we have a situation where the receiving country, in this case UK and Canada, have better amenities, a better standard of life that they are offering to our people that are jackbuying.
The transatlantic slave trade was mostly based on the buying and selling of Africans as commodities to be exploited in the West. These Africans were forcibly taken from their families and homes and sold into unknown conditions and way of life. Now, due to harsh economic conditions and quest for greener pastures outside their shores, experts say young Africans, particularly Nigerians, are voluntarily presenting themselves as slaves to the Western countries out of desperation in their efforts to travel abroad, with many unscrupulous persons capitalizing on this trend.
We have poverty, we have lack of job opportunities, we have lack of educational opportunities, we have internal conflict and also war, also, facilitate forced migration. But then poverty is not an excuse to be that desperate.
The desperation to flee for some is reflected in the sojourn through Libya, the trek through the desert before they end up crossing the Mediterranean in overcrowded boats. Most of them never make it to Europe. Some fall into the hands of organ harvesters, while others drown in the Mediterranean Sea.
When somebody tells you, oh, I want to help you in quotes, they get you a visa, they buy you a ticket. That person is not your father, that person is not your mother. You should know that, there's something up at the end of the day. And this is something that we see.
Looking at the risk associated with the trek through the Libyan desert, to the small boats they are forced to make the dangerous crossing on, the question is it worth the risk?
This my friend left Nigeria in 2010. They went through the desert. He said they spent how many months in the desert. I can't remember. They paid money. There's this Mediterranean Sea. The story he told me actually, I already like the sea is salty. There's a particular well. He called them. I can't remember because I can't really have. I don't have the details of the event. The well is smelling. They had to drink their urine. And not, seriously, it's not really funny. He got there. He was arrested at Libya. He stayed in prison for like 6 months. Then I think he was released. He was sold as a slave. He was working with somebody. Not until the late TB Joshua who came. I think he was the one that actually paid for them to back to the country. He came back. To me, he wasted almost 8 years. He didn't achieve anything. Where exactly he was going to was Italy. According to him, he saw Italy, but he didn't get there. So it doesn't make any sense. So that's why you see, but if you're going through the genuine process, you have my support 100%. That's my own view.
Data from the UN Refugee Agency shows that more than 120,000 people entered Europe through Mediterranean land and sea area in 2021 alone. Additionally, more than 25,000 migrants are reported to have crossed the English Channel in small boats in just 2022.
You talk much. Some people will tell you, oh, you that is there, why don't you come back if Nigeria is good and all that? But most times when you go without the necessary stuff, people become liabilities. And due to desperacy, you see people fall into wrong hands. Nigerians are killed for nothing. Nigerians go through the Sahel, go through, all manner of means to get to countries that Nigeria is supposed to be better than, and it all boils down to the Nigerian system. It all boils down to the leadership. It all boils down to the economic and social situation in our country. Again, it shouldn't be, but when the people are pushed to the wall, they will hear advices. People feel, oh, Libya, you can imagine Libya is better than Nigeria. Malaysia is better than Nigeria. It's a very big shame. Some of us that have dual citizenship, we know all we face. It's not a rope of roses.
Another 2020 study published on the Center for Global Development shows that the number of Nigerians that relocate outside Nigeria took a giant leap from 450,000 in 1990 to 1.4 million in 2019. Experts say this figure may be higher as there are usually no official records for migrants.
Countries like Libya, they have strong agreements with European countries just to stem irregular migration and trafficking in persons. So this agreement is to prevent people from crossing their borders. Countries like Mauritania, which is now a destination, people now go there with the hope of crossing into Europe. These African countries have agreements with European countries to stop people from entering. So when somebody tells you, oh, I will take you to Europe, I will pass through Libya, most times, if you have 100 people embarking on that journey, 98% will not survive.
There are so many risks associated with traveling abroad through illegal routes. Illegal migration is itself a crime as it violates the immigration laws and policies of the country being entered into illegally.
There's scammers. I mean, that happens in any society. But if you want to do legal migration, is to get a sponsor. There's always people or agencies that will sponsor you, and you do proper terms and agreements and find people whom they've sponsored and it has worked for, and have a chat with them. It's hard to filter out those illegal routes. What's interesting is that some of the routes might be legal, but might be exploitative.
Experts say continued residence in a country entered into through back channels is a risk on its own, as illegal migrants are often at the mercy of others.
In the societies such as those, everything is tied to your security, social security number, depending on the country you live in. But in Canada, it's called your social identification number, your SIN. From your opening of a bank account to your renting a house to your getting a job, you need that SIN number. So when you don't have that SIN number, it is extremely difficult for you to get into society. Because when you look for a house, the landlord is going to ask you, where do you work? So that goes to employment. The employer is not going to employ you because you don't have a SIN number. You know, I'm not saying people don't do it. A lot of people do it, but it takes a long time. So you go into the asylum route, and you're going to be haggling with the immigration court system for a period of 2 3 years. And at the end of the road, at the end of that period, there are no assurances that you will actually get your refugee status. So a lot of people come in with all sorts of excuses. This is the reason why they are leaving. They're being persecuted at home for one reason or the other. Um, it's a very onerous journey.
Despite the risk and challenges involved in illegal migration, thousands of Nigerians continue to travel illegally. However, others say they have been enlightened on the dangers.
If I have opportunity to be in abroad, I will move. But it will not be in illegal way. It will be in a rightful way. You understand? I will meet the criteria before I move. Because me looking at the country now and how things is, Nigeria is no longer interesting to be. You understand? Every day the cost of living is being increased. So if I have opportunity to be in abroad, my dear, I am not waiting.
If somebody promise you that you have got a job for you in American or in any different country, you yourself, you have to apply your own wisdom first. Because by going there, maybe you may not know if the work is really in that place. Then you will now lose the one you are doing in this country. So you have to use your sense and apply. Ask very well if it is true or not, because some of them took our people down to that side place and make them a slave. And some will succeed. Some will even die.
Many Nigerians are falling into modern slavery in their desperation to escape poverty, insecurity, improve their lives, and support their families. A non-profit organization, Anti-Slavery International, believes more than 40 million people are estimated to be trapped in modern slavery in different parts of the world. And the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has officially been at the forefront of the fight against human trafficking since July 2003.
Since inception of NAPTIP has rescued over 18,000 victims of human trafficking. It's a national crisis of enormous proportion. When someone comes and tells you, "Oh, I want to give you a better life," and the next thing that comes out of their mouth is, "Don't tell anybody," then you ask yourself, if it's a good thing, why shouldn't I share the good news? Or they tell you, you need to go and swear an oath in one shrine. Why should you go and swear an oath in a shrine? And now what traffickers do is, if they cannot get you to swear an oath, they now tell you to record yourself nude and send the video to them, so that it's a way to control you. They'll say, I'm spending this much money on you. I want to be sure that you will pay me back. And you record yourself and send to them. So those are red flags that people need to recognize. Or they tell you, oh, they are taking you to Italy. The next thing, you're passing through Seme border. Is that the road to Italy? Or you're passing through Jibia border in Katsina. Is that the road to Italy?
The hope of increased income, especially for skilled labor abroad, is a major reason most Nigerians travel abroad. Others aspire to leave due to the belief that there are more job opportunities available for qualified people in the West.
I would say life is better in abroad than this place. The reason is that even we, the youths that are supposed to move the country, they are not giving us the opportunity to do so. So the ones that are there, look at the way the economy is. The economy is sinking. I have a kid brother outside there, in Romania. The money he sends here. So if I change it, things as in it goes a long way. But here, our naira 1,000, you can't use it for anything.
Seeing the way the country is now, and with school and with the job opportunities not arising, quite early. I actually believe in leaving the country because that way to open up my mind to different things I can actually do with my life. Education will be better and getting job will be better. But then cost of living, that's why I wasn't even thinking. Cost of living is another thing now. Shifting or migrating to places like the UK or the US now. Many things that we don't pay, many things now that we don't pay for here now, we pay it there.
You're going to be paying bills here. You can't avoid NEPA bill here. Neither can you avoid water rate. Yes, you have to pay all those things. You have to work. They will take all the taxes they have to take from you. They are welcoming, but there are racial elements where now and again that raises ugly head. But it's a crime. So that, and I haven't seen much of it as a worry or concern. Of course, we can't eliminate it completely.
Some Nigerians in diaspora speak on challenges towards getting jobs and settling into a good standard of life abroad.
When I came in a while ago, 2003, thereabout, it was a bit difficult in the sense that the visa process was a bit complicated. And then getting jobs was a bit challenging. But with time, and then with the fact that there's a lot of demand for doctors, things seem to have improved significantly. Where not just doctors, obviously with the nursing staff and healthcare.
I'm in healthcare and I have a business. There's so many people that cannot afford to pay for their own healthcare in America, and they have worked in this country all their lives. The money they pay you for Social Security, what will be likened to pension in Nigeria, is nothing compared to what it's supposed to be when they retire. So it's true. The more you pay bills. Some people say, oh, nurses make money. People in healthcare make money. When you have a good life, the more you want a good life. The more you work, the more you pay taxes, the more you want better things, the more you will pay the bills.
A search online reveals that more than 10,000 medical doctors have left Nigeria for greener pastures in the UK since 2015. After India and Pakistan, Nigeria currently has the third highest number of foreign doctors working in the United Kingdom. Statistics show that Nigerian healthcare workers have been given more than 18,000 visas to work in the UK since January 2021.
People see greener pastures when they have friends who live outside and feel they live a good life. And it's not all rosy here, but certainly people are comfortable here. Might not be rich, but they're able to get by.
Experts say healthcare practitioners and information technology-based jobs are the most lucrative jobs for migrants in the UK and America.
This part of the world, care homes is it really, because care homes are there and they need manpower. There's a teeming population of the elderly who get frail over time and they need some form of care. So that's a care work. Yes, I think of IT. I'm not sure of what other professions. Of course, if people do get children to come and school here, whatever you do here, there are lots of jobs. I've not seen, certainly this is one of the first few years where the job market is just open. You can get job. I've not seen any friend, relative, colleagues whose children have graduated here and haven't found jobs. If anything, there are more jobs than people to fill them.
Charles Omere, a Nigerian trained lawyer who now lives in Toronto, Canada, works as a contract advisor to one of the top 5 Canadian banks. While reiterating on the need for Nigerians to work towards traveling abroad legitimately, he spoke on the Canadian Express Entry Program for skilled workers and how Nigerians can benefit from the program.
The immigration laws in Canada are actually fine-tuned to receive immigrants from Nigeria, from across the world. And you see, these laws or policies are actually designed to receive the best and the brightest, So it's not the lowly educated people that are moving to Canada. They're taking our best IT heads. they're taking our best health workers, they're taking our best lawyers, and they've designed the program as a point-based program. So you need to attain a certain level of education, certain number of years of work for you to actually assess the program. So the intake requirements or the bar for going into Canada right now are pretty high. So they're not just asking for anybody, they're asking for the best.
A survey released in 2018 conducted by Clean Foundation and Afro Barometer shows that 1 in every 3 young and educated Nigerian has considered leaving the country for a variety of reasons. The survey found out that 35% of the potential immigrants want to go abroad to find work, and 24% say they are trying to escape economic hardship.
Nigeria is too, say this economy is too hard for Nigeria for now. So many people are looking a solution. For me now to go out of Nigeria is that to find a solution for me, because the way it is now is too bad. It's too hard for people to live in this situation. Nigeria now is not safe. Insecurity, you can't travel.
12% of Nigerians polled say they are taking concrete steps to leave the country, while 35% say they are making plans to leave within 2 years. The survey further reveals that 52% say they had considered traveling abroad but have not made specific plans. The survey also found out that about 8 in 10 potential Nigerians trying to travel out of Nigeria fall between the age of 35 or younger, including some 45% who are 25 years and below. About 35% of those that participated in the poll have post-secondary school education and qualifications.
I don't believe in Japa. But actually, I could go for visiting. There's no crime in that. I could go for tourism. But really to go and stay there. You see, I just still believe here in Nigeria, my voice counts here in Nigeria because I see myself as a first class citizen here in Nigeria. But if I go there, no matter what I become, I'm still seen as second class. That's my view, quite all right. Sorry, that's just for me as a person. That's what I believe. That's why actually I've not really Japa per se. But I will go for visitation and go for tourism.
Research shows that Nigerians make up the largest population of migrants from the African continent to the Western world. While most aspiring migrants do have genuine reasons for wishing to travel either for business reasons, academic purposes, search for better jobs and others, the majority just seek to live better lives away from the hassle and stress of where they originally called home. And the experts continue to reiterate, if you must travel, travel legally.
Countries are built in a way that once you enter that country illegally, you're already setting up yourself for exploitation because you start depending on people. Take, for example, the American system. If you don't have a legal status in America, you can't get a job, you can't go to school, you can't, if you want to work, you have to use someone else's papers. If you want to go to, so what kind of life is that? What kind of meaningful life? Then you are always scared when you see the police, you are running because you don't have papers, you don't have social security. What kind of life? What kind of life is that? So I would just say nobody is saying you shouldn't travel. Of course, it would be hypocritical for anyone to say you shouldn't travel. Migration is a human right. Africans have been migrating for centuries, but the advice is if you must migrate, do it the right way. And that mentality of thinking that you can only make it when you leave Nigeria, no, you can also be successful in Nigeria.
Do your research properly. Where do you want to go? What are the skills in demand in the society you want to go to? Do you have those skills? What do you need to improve on those skills? How do you up your game? It is not cheap to relocate from one country to another. So you need to save up for it. You need to have enough financial resources for you to engage on that. Then also, there's also the psychological impact. You're living a life that you know so well. You're leaving friends, familiar environment, networks you've built, and all of that is something they also need to prepare for, mentally, and know, okay, you leaving all that you know behind, and you basically going into a strange world where the culture may be different, the food may be different, the weather may be extremely hostile to you. So these are things. So basically, it's a lot of research and ask questions. And for us in the diaspora, we're always open to people. If you have any questions you want to ask, you can reach out to people in the diaspora.